because it helps you to work on the internal thought processes, value systems, and preconceptions that kept the conflict going. When that awareness arises and you weigh all the different alternatives and then make a choice, you are able to work on the choice, and that transformation is likely to be more permanent because it evolves with your own soul up to a point where you have the satisfaction that you are from this stage into this stage. But I must insist that a part of the human conscience is the selfish element of ourselves. You need positive outcomes, positive benefits, positive experiences from the process. If I stopped quarreling with you or I stopped fighting against you, what is it along the way that I benefit? If you stopped no, there are some habits. There are some habits that I might not want to talk about. But if you reduced the amount of time you waste every day on your electronic devices, for example, and you say, I think I am an internet addict, I am an electronic addict, to whatever technical people know better words to use, and say, supposing I assess myself. Every time I open my mobile phone or my mobile device, I time myself. Whenever it is 30 minutes, I record. Or I get a trigger and I record. Then after 1 week, I record and see how much time on average I spend on an electronic device. And you realize that you spend 3 hours out of 24 on your electronic device per day. After a week, you can take stock and say, if I'm spending 3 hours on my electronic device per day, which of these 3 hours are productive? Once you're able to ascertain that only one of the 3 hours are productive, then you ask yourself, how can I cut off the rest of the 2 hours?
The 2 hours.
Or make them more productive? Once you are able to substitute the 2 hours for some more productive engagement on your electronic device, and you see benefits. For instance, you are either thinking better, you are planning better, you are not consuming unnecessary content. Once you begin to see these benefits, or your sleep improves because the time you spend on this radiation reduces, these positive benefits normally incentivize us to continue with the journey. And the more we see benefits of the journey, the more we carry on with it. By the time you reach a point of saying, I think I am transformed, you have benefits to come.
But especially when we're dealing with the relationships, there comes a point when the external factors want to oppose the would-be transformation. For example, you want to stop quarreling with your wife, but now that you've stopped quarreling and stopped fighting with her, she assumes a mode where she's wondering, why has he stopped? She's even provoking you. And I think you had used an example where your friends were like, you come and drink, you've stopped drinking,
Yes.
but they want you to come and drink. In fact, they become aggressive, or they start treating you in a way that is not.
They could even isolate you.
Yes.
Yes, you could suffer isolation. In some personal transformations that counter social and group behaviors and practices can be problematic. Why? Because we live in a world of social and group approval, if I can call it. And group and social sanctioning threatens you from stopping criminal practices. For instance, if you are a member of a criminal group, because you think the group can harm you, it can isolate you, or the benefits you are enjoying in the group would be cut off. If, for instance, you were a member of a criminal group and you have been earning income and living some luxurious life from your criminal activities, but somehow you reach a point and say, this underworld life is not the best for me, and you want to step away from me. Stepping out of the underworld life can be problematic because it has security risks, personal safety risks. Members of the underworld may fear that you are going to expose them. If you insisted to them and say, guys, I'm not going to expose you, what you do, believe me, accept me as I am, but get me out of your world. They may ask you to swear an oath of secrecy that you will not reveal their activities, that you will not reveal that you are associated with them. They may even threaten point of death and say, whensoever our details come out, we shall come after you. So, the fear of group sanctioning can discourage you or dissuade you from undertaking the transformation journey. So the external pressure could keep difficulties for you to embark on the transformation. Normally, it is the strength of your heart, the strength of your conscience that can defeat any obstacle. Strength from external approvals are not sufficient to keep you going on a transformation journey, especially if it involves overcoming obstacles that are external to you. I must finally say that the work of personal transformation also requires some external support. If you have wanted to change your behaviors and practices, you need to identify groups which behave and act in ways that are consistent with the new life that you want to take on. Once you identify another group and you join it, then you get new approval, which is the opposite of the approval in the group that you were before. Or if you find some mentor to say, you were a politician, now you want to be in business, this is how the world of business operates.
Yes.
The urge to go to politics is strong, but you say, I have had enough in politics, now I want to go into entrepreneurship. You get a mentor, he or she mentors you in entrepreneurship and helps you in the initial stages, 1, 2, 3 years of becoming a true business person or a true entrepreneur, and then you get approvals once you join the world of entrepreneurship. The transformation process can become smoother and easier when you have someone to walk along with. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I think I appreciate you deep dive in. It helps me to clarify a few mental questions I've been having about this.
I wonder why you ask more mental questions than social and
I
society.
don't know, we are coming to social issues because, like the example you use, let's say I used to be in government for a very long time. I know a lot of secrets that government deals in, and now I want to be a businessman.
Or a free man.
Or a free man.
Yes.
But just by the bare nature of the work I have done with government. Anyway, I don't think government is a good place for us to go, but we'll come.
People, ask yourself, people who invented nuclear weapons, working in secret laboratories and secret research centers, I don't know where they are. Did they die there? Did they exit? When they exited, did they become free? I would want to meet such a person and they tell me about their transformation journey from a secret, dangerous world researcher to a free, easy world person who possibly teaches in a university or possibly has a business, and they are able to live in a society of open conversation without necessarily divulging the dangerous secrets they were involved in their secret research laboratories and centers. I don't know how people really make that transformation, but I would want to meet them. I have met reformed criminals and reformed underworld actors, but I've never met people who have crossed from the world of statist secret operations to free open operations. I have read works by former intelligence officers, but you cannot trust that all that they have written is even 10% of what they may have done in their world of intelligence and secret operations. But yes, that is the challenge that everyone faces. Perhaps priests want to transform and become better. Perhaps thieves and robbers want to transform and become better. Drunkards want to transform and become better. Some prostitutes want to transform. Politicians want to become business people want to transform and become politicians. There is a lot of need for personal transformation out there. And I think if we had the opportunity to meet people who have personal challenges, who are struggling to transform themselves, we could possibly help them out and talk to them and show them how they may start the journey.
The journey of transformation.
Yes. Perhaps I may ask you, if I were to transform from a social scientist to a lawyer, for example. How would I become one? Professional transformation, for instance. How would I become one? Maybe I would do one, start by identifying the crisis, as I have told you. The wanting to move from one world to another one. Then I would do some preliminary thinking or research on whether the world I want to enter is actually a good world. Because you see, when you want to say, I want to move from an entrepreneur to a politician, before you move in, you may first find out, is the political world a better world if I transform myself from a businessman to a true politician, like President Trump?
I think all that kind of transformation, like we already cited, actually begins with a dilemma.
Yes.
You are in the business world, and then oftentimes you meet places where for you to be able to clear a certain transaction, you need a politician.
Yes.
Then the politician maybe is asking for a lot of money, and you cannot continue dealing this way.
Yes.
So even when you're going to transform from a certain professional space to another one, like you've already cited out, I agree entirely that it begins with that disorienting situation that causes you to start questioning, should I really be a social scientist, or I need some law to back myself up and then take on these new tasks. Yeah, and I think that's where I think I would stand.
And perhaps to ask, what does it take to now make the bold decision and say, I am now going to shift from the businessman who is Trump to the politician who is the President Trump? What does it take to make that decision? Do you consult people? Do you consult your guardian angel, to use the religious expression? Do you simply jump into the jungle and say, I am facing it right now and not going back? How does it happen? Some of these questions I think our viewers will answer. They will advise, they will challenge us to think and breathe better and share more. But I think transformation is a continuous process. As long as everyone out there thinks they are not in the right place where they want to be, they should identify where they want to go, make a decision, and just start the journey. Yes.
Yeah, so I think greatly would classify personal transformation into 5 major aspects of life. Maybe you could look into one of these. Financial transformation. We have already discussed to a great length social